So welcome students. This module 2 we are going to discuss Fibonacci method for finding the minimum. Before going into this method, I would like to discuss something about Fibonacci numbers. What are these numbers actually? These numbers are like this, that first you take 1, and after the second number is also 1, then you add these two numbers. First you take 1 and 1 and then you add these numbers, you will get 2, and after then you add these previous numbers, then you will get 3. The same way you can do 8, 13, 21, and you can guess that it is 34, and after then 55, and then 89, and like this you can go on. So now you will be wondering what will be the use of these numbers. Actually these numbers are found in nature. Fibonacci numbers are found in nature when our trees or some natural things grow. They grow in this sequence. I would like to tell you this way here. Suppose you have some tree like this. It is its stem. Leaves will be there, then but I am leaving that. Then it branches out when it grows. So this is the I am writing here 1. So the number of branches here is 1. Then after then what happens, that 2 branches will come out of it. It is the natural growth actually. So 2 branches will come out, and then what happens, that after then you will be thinking that these 2 branches again, this will branch this way, but nature does not do it this way, because you know this will grow, then there will be something like this. So what happens, that not this way it grows, actually it grows this way, that this branch just keeps on growing like this, but this branch here branches into 2 parts. So this is actually, you can see 1, 2, 3. So you can see the nature's idea for avoiding the crowding of branches, because each branch needs sun light. So it does it this way. So you can see that there are 3 branches. Now you can guess how it will branch. So now this will branch out. This will branch out like this, and this will not branch out, it will go like this, and now this will branch out. So you can see the idea, how clever is nature. If it is allowed to grow like this, then what will happen, that it will make crowd here. Now in the next phase, how it will grow? It will grow like this, that it will keep on going like this, the next phase, and this branch will also keep on going like this, but this branch will branch out like this, and this will also branch out in 2 parts. It will divide, and also this will also divide into 2 parts. So if you will count these, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 8. So you can see that we are getting here this Fibonacci number 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. So this is nature's way of growing, and it is very efficient. So if these numbers are applied to our minimum search method, then we can make our search efficient, more efficient than bisection method or exhaustive search method. In that we were just dividing those things in half. But if we will go in nature's way, we can see that it will be more efficient. We can reach to the minimum point faster. So let's apply this method to an example. So this is the example I would be taking. This is the function fx is equal to this very complex function. You cannot solve it easily, and always in this kind of questions you will be given this kind of interval. between 0 to 3, you have to find, you have to minimize the function, or you can say that in this range you can find the range or interval in which the minimum is falling, and you have to take actually in this method it is called number of experiments, so or iterations you can call it in a simple language. So 6 iterations you have to do. So in these are type of questions you will be given this kind of thing, that when you have to stop, otherwise there is no limit. Now I would like to show the graph of this function, but just for the making it more understandable, but actually in actual situation you will not be able to know the graph. So you can see here, this is the graph actually of that function, and you can see that it is the minimum is coming here. Actually it has got 2 minimum, but we have been given that you have to concentrate on 0 to 3 interval. So what is that interval? 0 to 3 up to this point. In this range you have to given, so you have to reach to this point, this you can say here, this interval you have to decide in which interval this minimum is falling. And if I can zoom on it, you will find that this is the zoom I have made. So here you can see that the minimum is like this, it is coming here, and you can see here that this 3.0 to 3, the range you have been given up to this, and by doing this search method you need to reach to this interval. I want to say these 2 points you have to find in which interval this minimum is falling. So let's see how to do it. So in this method, whatever data is given to you, it is n is equal to 6, number of experiments or number of iterations n is equal to 6 has been given, and this interval has been given to you, and if you can show it on the x-axis, you will find that 1 0 1 2 3, and this point is called A and this point is called B. So this is just notation. B is equal to A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 3, and the distance between these 2 points, this, it is denoted at L naught. First distance that is given to you, it is L naught, and always you will find this this way, that in our case it is 3. So it is very important to understand or to use this notation, because in formula you will use this kind of thing. After then, what is our strategy? That we will divide this full length into 3 sections. Just we were doing in bisection method or on those methods. So we will divide it, but this time we will use Fibonacci numbers for dividing that, so that our division is very efficient. So the strategy is that we will find 2 points here and here. This will be called x1 and this will be called x2, and this distance will be equal in these cases at equal interval, and the notation for this distance is L1 and this distance is L2, because this is point N2, x1 and x2, and this asterisk is there. And after then, what you will do is that okay, yes, when you will decide this point, you will call it first experiment or first iteration experiment, and this is your second experiment. Okay, so I am showing you how to do first experiment. First experiment means iteration, first calculation you can say. In this case we will decide the value of x1 and the how to get this x1. So first we need to find the distance this L2. Actually these two distances are equal, so you can find L2 or L1, whatever. So the formula for finding L2 is Fibonacci number, this and this. You see this Fibonacci number is denoted by F. For example, if you can go to that those numbers here, you will find it here. So this is called this is actually F0, this the one is, and this is F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, F9, so something like this. And in our case, which Fibonacci number we should select? So here it is Fn minus 2, and n in our case is 6, so it means that Fn minus 2 will become F4 and Fn is F6. So we will take F4 and F6. Let's see what are those values. F4 is this and F6 is this. It means that 5 and 13 we will select. This is your 5 and this is 13. Now we come to our calculation part. The distance L2, that is here you do it. 5 and 13 you put 5 and 13, and the L0 is 3. You will find that this distance comes to be 1.153845. You can calculate it yourself. So you've got L2. Now if you will come here, L1 and L2 is equal to, so L2, this is also the same distance. So how to find x1? This is a plus L1 or L2. So x1 will be a plus L2, and this will be 0 plus this distance 1 plus 1 point, very easy to do, 1.153846. so x1 comes to be this. So this is your first experiment, and second experiment is x2. How to find x2? It is 3 minus L2, so b minus, you can say x2 is equal to b minus L2. So if you will do all these things, 3 minus 1.153846, you will get 1.846154. So this is your x2 and it is your second experiment. And now I will show these values on the graph. So now you can see that x1 will come somewhere here because it is 1.1. This is x1 and x2 will come 1.8, so it will come here, something here. This point is x1 and this point is x2. These 2 points, or we can write these points this way. This is your x1 and this is your x2, and now what we will do, we will get the value at these points, values of function values. This is the next step actually. So at point x1 the function value will be f1, and this will be decided this way. You put this value x1 is equal to 1.153 into this equation, into this function. Here you put here this 1.15, then you calculate it. So after the calculation, what value you will get? Minus, you can do it yourself for practice, 2685. This is the value, and for value here, function value at x2 is will be, if you will put here, you will get minus 0.1158415. So this value you will get. So now if you will plot it, what you will get? If you will show these function values here, then at x1 here it is coming in minus, so it will come here somewhere here. This is the value of function f1, it is minus 0.2, and at x2 it will be what? It is this. So your trend is coming like this, you know, this. You can see that function is decreasing this way. So you can say that if function is coming like this, the minimum should be somewhere here, and it cannot be here. So what we do here, that we remove this section, because we know that minimum cannot be here because the trend is coming like this. So we will remove this section, and the notation is this, that the left, that is distance that is left here, it is called L2 because it is coming out of the point 2, x2 point. So this is the designation actually, L2 distance. What is L2 asterisk this, and what is distance L0, L1, L2. So now we will draw only the distance L2 and then again do the experiments. Let's see how to do it. So now you can see that we are between these two intervals. You can see that how we have reduced this point. We were between these two intervals. Now we have reduced our section to almost this. We have come to this point, only to this section, because of the Fibonacci number. This it was very fast to reach to the minimum section. So now we have done 2 experiments. Now we will do third experiment. Third experiment means that we will put a point here. For the third experiment, we will put a point x3 here, somewhere here. So how to decide that point? Actually, this distance is L3 asterisk, and this distance is L3 called. So this notation is very important. Here you can see this is L2 distance, and now here comes the L3 distance. So x3, you can see that x3 will be somewhere here, and it will be like this, that at equal distance. I mean to say that x3 will be somewhere here, and this distance will be L3. At this distance, equal distance from this end points, these 2 points are taken actually. So what will be the x3 point? You can guess that A is 0 plus this distance, and how much is this distance? This L3. So you can write it this way also, and then to find the L3 distance is x2 minus x1. This is your L3 distance. Now you will when you will do all these things, what you will get actually? You will get 0.69 23077. This is the x3 point. So you can show your x3 point here. Now this is the x3 point. Now I am showing it on a different graph. So this is the actually location of x3 point. Now we will find out what are the values of function here. So value of function at point x3 will be, put this x3 value in that function, and you will get minus 0.29 13632. And now we will compare it with f1. So you can see that the point f3 is here and f1 is here. So the trend is this, the minimum lies somewhere here. So it means that we can remove this section after the third experiment. So now I will draw the next section. This is the view of the next section, and now we will do fourth experiment. That is, we will put a point x4 here, somewhere here we will put. and that this distance will be equal to this distance, and this distance will be equal to this distance. So very easily we can find these distances the same way we did here. Actually this is L4 asterisk distance. So if you want to find the point x4, and it is very simple, just do it this way, x1 minus x3, and you will get the point 4615385, and get the value of function here f x4 you put in that function, you will get minus 0.3098092. So and you compare it with the, so here you get the function value and you compare it with x3. So this is the comparison of two values, f4 and f3, and you can show it on the here. You will find that at x4 the function will come, value is will come here, and for x3 the value will come here. So you can see the trend is like this, that is the minimum is somewhere here at this here, and so it cannot lie here, so we will remove this section. So in a new graph, if you will see the section, you will find it this way. In the fifth experiment, what you will do, you will put a point x5 here, so that these two distances are equal, and it is very easy to do the fifth experiment. So x5 is equal to 0 plus x3 minus x4, and you get the value 7692, and get the value of function here, I mean to say not 6 but 5, fx5, and you will get what you will get, minus 0.2636783. This is the value of function f5 at these points. Now draw it. So what is x5 point? It is this, so 0.26 minus 0.26, so suppose it is somewhere here, f5. And what is x4? x4 point is 0.309, so it is coming here, somewhere here, it is less than this. So you can see that minimum is going towards like this, so you can say that minimum cannot lie here, so you remove this section. Minimum will lie in this region, in this region. So now I will show you the next graph. This is the graph new, and now we will do sixth experiment. That is, we will to decide, now the point will come here, because this point has come here, this distance, and the sixth point will come here, because you cannot take this distance now, because you have to put the point in an equal distance. So equal distance will come here now, somewhere here. So this will be your x6 point, and so what will be your x6 point? It will be 0 plus I mean to say is not 0 but x5, this x5 plus x3 minus x4. Okay, or you can say here, you can take this distance also, x4 minus x5 you can put here also, but I put this distance, so in both ways you will get the same point. So if you will put these values, you will get 4615385. This is the point, and at this point the function value is minus 0.3098092, and you can say that at f6 point the value is somewhere here, suppose f6 it is 0.3098, and at x4 it is 3098092, 3098092 at x4, and f6 is 098092. Yes, some correction is there. Actually this value is not, actually I have written some wrong data here. It is not 98, but actually it is 10. So you can see that f6 is greater than f4 value, this here. So the trend is coming like this. F4 is this, and the minimum has come, is lying somewhere here. Minimum is lying here. Let's see it in a more better way, because that was congested area actually. So first let's see that where is the f6 value lying. Suppose f6 value is lying somewhere here, and what is f4 value? F4 value will come below this actually, 98092. So it will come like this. F4 and x6 values are actually almost equal, but x4 values, if you will calculate it more properly, you will see that it will come somewhere here. It is below this point. You need to calculate it precisely, because up to this point these values are actually equal. These two digits will decide, and there will be very small difference between this, but if you will calculate it properly, you will see that this point will come below this point. So you can say that minimum is somewhere here. So you can say that this, if you will remove in your after your sixth experiment, then you can say that your minimum is lying in this interval, and this distance is called L6, and it is called a particular name has been given to it. Is called final level of uncertainty. Final level of uncertainty. And when we started it, what was our interval of uncertainty? It was this 3. L naught was the initial level, initial interval of uncertainty. We knew that because in the question we were given that your minimum lies between these 2 points. So we can say that we were here, but now we have restricted that region more precise. We have found that point. So this is called final level of uncertainty, and in many questions you will be asked to find the ratio of these two distances, initial interval of uncertainty and final interval of uncertainty. So if you will divide these distance, L6 distance you can find here, x6 minus x5, and L naught is already that is 3, and if you will put here, this distance is 4615. Here actually I have put this point x4, and this is point x5, and then by subtracting it you can get this distance, and then this point I have taken x6 and x5, and x5 if you will subtract it, you will find L6 distance, and then divide it by 3, then you can get your precision, how much precise you have made your section. That is, you have precised, or you have made your certainty level up to 0.076 fraction of the first interval of uncertainty, that was 3. So this way you have made your guess more precise, that now you can say that in this particular interval the minimum will lie. So it is coming somewhere here in this region. First it was this, now you have made it more constricted. So this was the actually purpose of this question, and as a final the final answer you will write this the minimum lies between x5 and x6. This is the answer of this question. Minimum lies between these 2 points. So okay, students, our lecture is done now.